Hi, this is Gary,
And Lila.
and we are from Just Us, the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Today we're going to talk about, our dating and
Some ups and downs, and just laugh a little bit about a few of the things that we went through.
getting how do we get the kids to warm up, and how do we just sort of start things out, and things aren't as clean and wonderful as we all wish. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thanks. We're going to talk about when we first started dating, and we're Christian, and we wanted to make God first priority in our life, but we're lonely and we're looking for somebody to fill that space with. And so for me,
Oh, you mean in the dating
website.
American Singles? Yeah.
I thought it was Friend Finder, but
No.
yeah.
I think you were on Yahoo Singles, or no, yeah, Yahoo Dating, or whatever they called it back then. It was free.
Yeah, it was free.
And I saw you on there, and I thought, she's standing next to some guy there in that picture. And here it was Levi, your
I
son.
wasn't. It was my family picture of me and my 3 kids. And he thought I used one that I had cut out a guy. I'm like, no.
I thought, the nerve of this woman.
And it was just my son's shoulder. Anyhow, yeah, I used that part of a family picture as on my profile. But I thought it was really important, and to me, once we finally did start talking back and forth, and he was a guy that had God in his heart, and to me, I had my top 10 list of must have and must not have, and so
I had my top 10 list. We both had top 10
didn't-
lists,
and we didn't know it.
we didn't even know it in there. There's a couple things on my list I can't tell you. But,
You can mention a couple you did have that were okay. Maybe.
well, okay, must be shorter than me. Actually, I think I said must be petite, must be pretty, must be kind and generous and giving and God in the heart. And you had all those things 100%. And then I wanted, large-chested woman.
You can't say that.
Anyway,
So anyhow, I went on my list. I had he must have God in his heart, and he hardworking. Must have a job.
yeah.
Not somebody off in the corner who lives in a tent. But kind, loving. He can't be alcoholic. I don't want him to drink. So I had those things on a no list. Please don't have these things. And then the things I did have, like I said, must have God in his heart, have a nice job, be consistent.
Can I tell? So I sent her this message and I'm like, hi, you seem very nice. We look compatible. Maybe we should go out on a date. And she sends back and says, it was pretty long, and she sends back, oh, you seem nice. And I'm like, okay, so I spent 3 paragraphs of stuff telling about myself, oh, you seem nice. And then I send her another email and I'm like, so I realize you're not interested, because there have been other ones that I sent to and they, would send a similar message when they weren't interested. So I sent back and I'm like, I realized that, I think the second one I sent back to you, I said, well, I think, we seem compatible. Maybe we should go out on a date. And you came back and said, you seem nice. And then on the third one, I said, okay, I see that you're not real interested. And but just at least give me some feedback. Is it because I have 3 kids and And you know, or is it because I forget, I had a bunch of, is it because of this and is it because of that? And maybe you're not, you know, Christian like me, or maybe you're not, you know, maybe you just, I'm not your type, you don't like guys with light hair, whatever. And she came back and sent me this long email. And she said, no, I'm getting all these emails from.
Right, let me explain from my point of view. If you were a woman on one of these websites and you went ahead and updated any information on it, it like put you at the top of the list, and almost like you were new to the website or something, and you'd have like 75 responses within 2 days, and it'd be overwhelming. And I'd get home from working a full day at work, 9-hour day, come home, cook for my kids, clean, sit down at the computer, and it'd be like, oh man, I can't even get through like 10 of these. I'm tired, I just want to go to bed. And so, you know, when I had very little time and I read he's a long-winded guy. He has a lot to say, and that's okay. I love him for it. But at the time, the situation was, I was just overwhelmed with, like I said, 75 in 2 days or whatever, and that happened to be right when you wrote to me. Mm-hmm. And so when he wrote back to me in all genuine honesty saying, you know, we seem like we would have been compatible, what was it, can you tell me? I was like, oh, I like this guy. Oh, let me reread the first few again. And so then I just pushed everything else aside and just concentrated on his.
I know, I was like really surprised, because then she said, why don't you call me? And she gave me your phone number, which was the first time that it ever happened on the dating site for me. And I mean, I had been out on a couple dates, but nobody ever gave me their phone number on there. They'd always say, well, meet me here at this time or something like that. So I was surprised.
And let me also explain one other thing that's kind of an important factor in this. I was single for 10 years. And so Gary had been single for 1 year. And so to me, I had been back in the day when it was a dating phone line before they had the internet dating. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, I had some real nightmares of some dates and meeting people. And I'd try it for a little bit, and then I'd say, forget it, I've had it, I'm not going to do this again for a long time. And then I wouldn't talk to anybody or even try to date anybody for a full year.
If you're wondering what the ringing bell is, the dog wants to go out.
We'll let him out the back door and we'll take it from here.
Keep talking. You can go out, it's 20 below. That's probably enough about the dating now.
So anyhow. What else?
So our first date was wonderful. We didn't talk very much, you know, over dinner. I took her out to this fancy dinner at Macaroni Grill, and you know, I mean, it was a polite conversation. Then, as I was backing my truck out of the parking space in the lot, I backed into somebody else's car. So then she's like, and I had like talked her into going to another.
He said, well, let's go listen to a band for a while
Yeah.
at Famous Dave's. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And so then when he backed into a car as we're leaving the first parking lot, I was like, oh my gosh, this poor guy. I'm sure that's just killing him that he hit somebody, and he just wants the night to end.
She goes, do you want to just go home now? Let's just go home. And I'm thinking, oh crap, you know, it's like the last thing I wanted to do was just go home at that point. But
so anyhow, that date went well. We went to listen to the band and stuff, but the dating went good. I mean, we did. What point I think we were getting at here is the fact that we went church shopping. One of the things important to both of us was that, okay, we've gotten our heart and we're going to start dating. We've decided we're going to be exclusive and see each other. And
we deleted our profiles together on the dating sites.
And so we said, well, let's go church shopping. And so each Sunday he'd pick me up, and
Let's prelude that with, you came to the Catholic Church with me, and the pastor that I had been talking to, because, in the Catholic Church, it's like, you should be tarred and feathered if you get a divorce. I mean, that's how I felt they treated me, this pastor. And so, I went through this whole annulment process to try to, be right with the church, and I felt pretty bad about it, because I came from a strong German Catholic background, and so, at any rate, I after going through this whole annulment process, they let me know that I would have to pay, it was something like $1,500 or $1,700 to the bishop to get him to sign off on this thing, and I thought, well, this is just a way that the church gets money. This is baloney. And, just the whole process didn't seem right to me. They're looking for a loophole where somebody had their fingers crossed when they said I do. That's what annulment's really about, at least in my mind. Comment below if you want to flame me on that. But that's my opinion of annulment, okay?
the bottom line is we did try to go
We tried to
your
go there.
church,
And the
went 3
pastor
different
would not
times,
even look at us.
and it was, he looked at me one time when I passed him after going to the back, using the ladies' room, came back. He passed me and he glared holes in me. I said, I'm uncomfortable here. I don't want to come back.
You said, God's not in that building.
I did. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So every weekend, part of our dating process was we would go ahead and find another church to go to the next week. And if we liked it, we said, okay, we'll try that again, but let's try a few more and we'll come back to it.
This was heresy in my mind, because as a strong Catholic, brought up Catholic, my grandpa used to call them damn Lutherans, the Lutheran people. And, it was sort of like you felt like other religions, there was some evil there. They really were messed up. And so I had kind of a bad attitude about other churches, but after the pastor did that to her, that was the end of Catholicism, and I was ready to give other things a try. And so I'm a fallen Catholic. What can I say? But
after
anyway,
only dating 6 weeks,
yeah,
he proposed, but we knew that as a family, to come together, we needed more time for dating. I said yes, of course, right away. 'Cause
I
knew
proposed
this was
on
an
Valentine's Day.
awesome man.
Yeah.
And I knew that he was a man that I wanted and looked for many years, but I knew that we needed some time to get to know each other better and for our kids to get to know each other. So we waited
1 year.
almost
No, wait.
1 year.
Because I proposed on Valentine's Day, and we got the following November.
That November
we got-
12th.
Yeah, so it wasn't
for
a
the
year, but
11 months we knew each other.
yeah.
So
But it was, man, we knew it was right. I mean, everybody was telling us it's too soon and stuff, but we really, really knew it was right. And obviously it was, because we're still completely in love, and we're still doing very well. Remember while we were dating when we had that birthday party, or was it just a barbecue at my house in the
no, it was
backyard?
Andy's, I think. Andy's birthday party.
Oh, because June is his birthday.
Yeah.
So we had his birthday party in the backyard, and that was kind of fun. All the kids were there. Was Levi there too?
No, Levi was with his father. He
Okay.
didn't have
Her 2 girls and my 3 were there, and they got to know each other, and so we it was a good party. We just had a barbecue and played some, I don't know if we played yard games or what,
But it was a big crew of people.
Yeah.
Andy had a lot of friends over.
yeah,
And it was
fun.
Like I said, good for our kids to come together and start learning to be together.
Hmm.
And
We had remember we had family meetings too. I remember
we did
We had okay.
real often in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We had family meetings with all of them. And I remember,
We even had some rules written down in the kitchen cupboard.
did we?
Yeah. I
If
have that.
You do?
I have that list somewhere.
What was the rules?
Mom and Dad have rules in the house. They're to be listened to. Curfew time. It's the law. You have to be in by 10 o'clock. There was a set of like 10 rules. If you eat and make a mess in the kitchen cupboard, it's okay to have a sandwich. You got to clean up after yourself. Be courteous and thoughtful to others. If you have friends over, just make sure, check with Mom and Dad. Is it okay? We don't mind you hanging out at our household. Just let us know in advance so we can be here if you have friends over. No parties if we're gone.
And then there was the no having anyone from the opposite sex, boyfriend, girlfriend, in your bedroom. They should stay on the main floor, or they could sit in the basement and watch TV, but not in your bedroom.
Which, let's not go there.
Yeah, which we had a couple incidences like that, but nobody was, doing the dirty or anything, but,
No, but I mean, there was just some ground rules, and it was okay for the kids to know that there's rules, and we'll follow them in the household. And so when things got out of line once in a while, we'd call a family meeting.
Yep.
And we did. And sit everybody down that was around or in the household or who was involved in anything and talk it over with them.
I remember we had been having some sleepovers early on in the relationship, like on a Saturday night. I'd stay at her house if the kids, if Elise was staying at her mother's house, then I'd stay over at Lila's house. If Elise was at my house for the weekend, then Lila would stay over at my house. Well, we realized that was wrong pretty fast. And it was shortly after that proposal that we decided not to do that anymore. We had been going to church, and we had heard some sermons about sex before marriage and everything. And I've got this friend, he talks about sex before marriage, and he says, okay, well, that only pertains to the first marriage. You can't have sex before marriage, but once you've been married, you've already been used to having sex. It's okay to have sex because it's not before marriage anymore. You've been married. So he had like this loophole going.
That's a twist on it.
Yeah. But at any rate, we decided pretty fast
to make sure
it was wrong to be doing that. And
so we sat all the kids down. We talked to them. We said,
we read the scriptures that we had heard at the sermon from the Bible.
And we knew that before that, but we had both, kind of been wayward for a little bit. We love God. We had Him in our heart, but we weren't going to church on a consistent basis until we started dating. Then we were there every week. But I think it was the fact that we said, the Holy Spirit is convicting my heart. We're not doing the right thing, and it's a bad example. Our kids, know this. So let's talk about it. And
they were just like,
they're like, we don't want to talk about this. We don't want to hear this.
So, but we professed in front of our children that we weren't going to do that. And then when our children got to the point where they had met people, and they were starting to get serious about marriage, they played that back to us and did it in their own relationships.
And it was just a wonderful, awesome thing to hear your child say, we're going to get married and we're going to save ourselves until we are married. And that's a wonderful thing.
And not that we're all perfect.
No.
We're not.
We're really
we're all of us. But, like right now, all of our kids go to church every Sunday, and I'm super proud of them for doing that. And, I believe that because, maybe because God convicted their hearts, maybe because we set an example, and we did do that meeting with the family and said, hey, we know we were wrong and we're not going to do that anymore, and this is why. And read them the scriptures. Maybe that sunk in. I don't know. But they're all going every Sunday, or listening to a sermon every Sunday, and you know, wow, what more, I mean, can a parent ask for
Right.
or want for than that? They pray, you know, regularly.
So
and-
for the last, 14 years of marriage and 1 year of dating, they've seen the parents being very active in the church. Going every single week, and after we were dating and found the church that was just right for us, we said, okay, this is it, you know, we want to be baptized as adults. And we went ahead, went through some classes,
Marriage
and
prep and stuff.
marriage prep, and also baptism prep, and just a few different things. And so we went ahead, and it was October 31st. We
So
went ahead.
Halloween. It was a Sunday.
We went ahead and we were baptized
Yeah,
at the same day.
It was pretty
And
cool
all our
because
kids were watching.
they
from
were
the
all
audience.
there in this front row, all 6 of them. And, you know, they brought us out and they were like 10 feet away from the, you know, the dunk tank where they,
The baptism pool.
right. But they were right there and, you know, and it was,
It was good
So-
for them to see that.
I went down
Commitment.
and they did me first and then they did you, right?
No, I think they did me first.
Did they do you first?
Pastor Mark Patrick baptized. You know, he'll ask a few questions. He baptized me, and then he said something about, you know, and this man and this woman are about to be married, and Gary, do you
He asked me if I,
profess to lead this family in a godly manner?
yes, you did.
And right in front of the kids and everything.
And the whole church.
congregation right there. And so it was really good. for
And I
the
said
kids to
yes
see that.
wholeheartedly.
And so
you know, there was
you
no
were-
doubt, but I didn't expect him to say that. So it was really good.
So you were baptized, and we walked up the few steps to go out, and we hugged, and it
We're
just
standing
was a
there.
wonderful thing.
We're standing there dripping wet, and it felt like the sun was shining right out of the middle of my heart. And, you know, here I was embracing this woman that I just loved, and we're soaking wet, standing there dripping at the top of the steps. It was like kind of behind nobody in the congregation could see us. But it was a moment, boy, that I'll never forget. You know, it was a dark hallway that we were standing in, but it felt like the sun was really beaming brightly there.
Yeah.
And it was on Halloween, you know, so it's
So
kind of
I
a
know.
dark day but at any rate,
But it was a
It was good
wonderful
for us.
commitment for us, and to be baptized and as an adult and know what you're committing to, and that you love Christ and have Him fully in your heart. And so the kids saw that, we had that commitment, and it started our marriage off on the right foot. Like Gary said, we're not perfect. We're real human. We have lots of ups and downs and mistakes we make. But I think that was a really good direction that we took things in right before, you know, we got married November 12th. And then it was a few months after that we started volunteering at the church full time, and we did that for about 7 years. But it was
well, it
good
wasn't
for
full time, but I mean, we were over there
Well, it
probably
was
three
every
nights
spring
a
and every
week.
fall we'd have classes that we volunteered and helped with, and it was, you know, there was times we had things in the summer we helped volunteer, like
Yeah.
6 weeks straight at a time too.
When we taught
So it was
divorce
a
care,
lot.
that was those went for about 3 months at a time, and it was ongoing. So you'd have 3 months
Right.
on and 2 weeks off, and then you'd start another class. So
So it was a lot, but it was good. It was good for our children to see that we were committed and helping others, and I think that helped us along the way too.
oh, yeah, and I think divorce care helped heal our hearts from past pains, because there's a
We could relate.
There's a curriculum that, you know, boy,
Yeah.
it really is, it's a good stuff. So if you haven't gone through divorce care, boy, it's a good thing to do, because it really just, you know, helps to heal those wounds.
Mhm.
We did it after we were married. And we taught the class.
We did.
So if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the little bell there, and it'll send you a notification that, you know, hey, Gary and Lila posted another video. And if you like what we're doing, please comment. You know, we read every one of those comments, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. If anyone is interested in participating in our channel, we would love to have you and interview you. We can do it remotely, we can do it through Skype, there's a number of ways we can do it. We would love to have your stories. So if you want to tell us about your dating, if you want to talk about how you met, how you got the kids to warm up, how things are going, what's good, what's bad, anything you want to talk about and you want to do it on camera and share on our channel, we would love to have you and we would love to help you. We've been doing counseling for many, many years, marriage mentoring. We are not licensed psychologists or analysts or counselors. We are just lay counselors, lay ministers, Stephen ministers, and we've just done this a lot. So,
Just the average person.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy
we,
about us.
tell you what,
We
we've
have
got a lot of experience.
a lot of experience, a lot of love in our heart, and so, yeah.
So anyways, let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.